My mom lied about my name change for years, and I finally called her out. My dad died when I, 18M, was 6. My parents had separated at the time, and mom was already dating her husband at that point. They decided to get married and give me a family unit after dad losing dad. Then within a few months, they were sitting me down to say they wanted to change my last name to their last name. Mom said it was important so that her husband could do his part to take care of me without issues concerning last names. I told her I wanted to keep my last name, and her husband wasn't my dad, and I didn't want to lose more of dad. I even cried about how important it was to me. She and her husband promised me repeatedly that they would pay for me to change my name back as soon as I was 17/18, and it was only to make life easier while I was younger, and people would make life more difficult for her husband to do certain things with me. I always regretted it, but believed for a long time they'd follow through. But about a year ago, when I mentioned it to my mom, she told me there was no rush, and I told her I wanted the name changed before graduation so I could have it on my diploma. There was a lot of back and forth, and her husband decided to add his own "what's the big deal anyway" comments occasionally. He'd also say his name had been my name longer than Dad's name had been at that point, and I said I didn't care, and I wanted my actual name back that was my actual dad's name too. Eventually, my mom admitted she wasn't going to pay for me to change it back, and she believed I should keep her husband's name because he'd raised me for so long and had done so much. I said no. She told me it wasn't my choice, and I told her she would not stop me once I turned 18. I also told her that she was never going to have a good relationship with me again after lying to me and letting me down. She called me overdramatic, but I spent the rest of my time living with them cold and somewhat hostile, and I shut them out as much as I could. Mom kept and still keeps trying. I moved out of their house and in with my cousin, and I filed the day after my 18th birthday to change my name back. My court date is coming up very soon, and my mom knows about it because of extended family. She has tried to forbid me from changing my last name back, and she even lied and said her husband adopted me too, so I couldn't. But I confirmed that didn't happen. Eventually, she told me I was disrespecting them as my parents. I told her then to shut the fuck up because she's a liar and I don't care what she has to say about this because her opinion does not matter here. My mom started crying and I told her good. I told her that she lost me over this and it was her own damn fault. I told her I would never have said yes to the change had I known, and I told her to suck it up because she was not in charge of me anymore. Some extended family are backing my mom because of how I spoke to her, and mom told me I had no reason to speak to her like I did.